Yes, good evening, dear students. So we have one more student among us, new student, that is Sparsha. So I welcome Sparsha to class. So please, all of you pay attention to today's class as we were doing uh, triangles chapter. So yesterday we finished exercise 6.1 also. We discussed the difference between congruency and similarity. Also we discussed the criteria for similarity. We got to know that for similarity, the polygons must have same shape and the corresponding sides must be in the ratio. So this is what we studied in yesterday's class, and we solve very basic questions from exercise 6.1. So in today's class I will visit similarity of triangles, and let us check two theorems which come under similarity of triangles, and let us solve a couple of numerical problems also. And remember students, henceforward you will have more of proving questions. Okay, that means they will give you statements and they will ask show that, they will give a question, prove that, they will give you a question. Okay, so henceforward the questions will not be fill in the blanks or straightforward. So based on the theorems that we are going to study, you must utilize those theorems and try to find out the proof. Okay, so understanding proof becomes extremely important. Is that clear? With this, shall we start today's session? With this introduction, shall we start today's session? Okay, fine. So any doubts anywhere, please interrupt me, no issues. Okay, so here first is similarity of triangles. So what had we studied earlier? So we knew that, or we have studied that triangle is also considered as a polygon, right? So what we can say? We can say that triangle is also a polygon. So that's what I would like to make a note here. So triangle can be considered can be considered as a polygon, can be considered as a polygon. So why am I saying this, or why am I referring to this, is because I would like to talk about this part. That is, two triangles are similar if their corresponding angles are equal. That was the first criteria that we studied yesterday. This criterion must be satisfied, right? This criterion must be satisfied, and also their corresponding sides are in the same ratio. So yesterday when we spoke about, we talked about polygons in general. That's what we studied. Yesterday I had drawn diagram of a rhombus square in the previous session, and we compared the angles and we compared the lengths of the sides. So, but in this, henceforward, we will be referring to triangles in particular. So, triangle can be considered as a polygon. That means triangle can become the subset of polygon. And what are the criteria that we are going to refer? We are going to refer these two criteria. That is, first criteria is corresponding angles are equal and their corresponding sides are in the same ratio or proportion. So, actually, there was a scientist by name Thales. Okay, by name Thales. So, this scientist actually utilized this, and he gave us some postulates. So before going into that postulate, I would like to provide one theory. That is, if corresponding angles of two triangles are equal, that is, if corresponding angles of two triangles are equal, then they are known as equiangular triangles. What is an equilateral triangle? All the sides of two triangles are equal, then we call it as equilateral triangles. Similarly, if corresponding angles of two triangles are equal, then they are known as equiangular triangles. Equilateral, all the sides are equal, angles are equal to 60 degrees. But what if angle A is 50 degrees, angle B is 60 degrees, and angle C is 70 degrees? But for both the triangles, it is the same. In those case, or in that case, we call the two triangles to be equiangular. That means corresponding angles are equal to each other. So if I have to draw a diagram and explain to you, okay. So if this is my first triangle, okay, and if this is my second triangle, and if I name this as A, B, C, and this is P, Q, R, then what I have to say? Angle A is equal to angle P, angle B is equal to angle Q, and angle C is equal to angle R. That means corresponding angles of two triangles are equal, then they are known as equiangular triangles. So with respect to this, the scientist or the mathematician Thales gave an important truth. It is called as truth, okay, the postulate relating to two equiangular triangles. So he said the ratio of any two corresponding sides in two equiangular triangles is always the same. That means if I consider ABC is equiangular to PQR, what are the corresponding sides, students? AB is corresponding to PQ. Am I right? BC, for BC, which is the corresponding side, QR, and for CA, for CA, RP is the corresponding side. So what do I have to do? I have to say the ratio of, so it says ratio of. The first part of the truth says ratio. That means I have to take ratio, that is AB by PQ, BC by QR, and CA by RP. So it says ratio of any two corresponding sides is always the same. That means AB by PQ will be equal to BC by QR will be equal to CA by RP. So these three ratios will be equal to each other. So this resulted in a theorem called as Thales theorem or basic proportionality theorem. Thales theorem or basic proportionality theorem. Okay, is this clear to everyone till here? Any doubts, anybody? So is this clear? I think the first part is very clear, as we have been encountering the theorem for last maybe couple of classes. So Thales theorem, the truth, is it clear to everyone? Yes, good, Abdul, good, Chitra. Okay, anybody having any doubts? Please let me know. Shreyas, Shashank, Vishal, Daksh, Srujana, Sparsha, Saumyas, Siddhant, Shreya, Sanjana, Samarth, Sachin, Sharat, Rukmini, Priyanka, everyone. Yes. So I hope this theorem is clear to all of you, right? So now let us dive into Thales theorem or basic proportionality theorem. Okay, students, this is extremely important. This theorem is extremely important. Okay, so that is the reason I have indicated the theorem over here. Basic proportionality theorem or the Thales theorem. So this appears as theorem 6.1 in your textbook. Okay, and based on this theorem, many questions will be asked from triangles chapter. So okay, please make a note of this quickly. Anybody, if you have missed, please make a note of this. Diksha, yes, Diksha, okay, please make a note of this slide. Anybody? So as I said yesterday, please be quick. This chapter is important and I don't want to miss the continuity. Yes, Diksha, is it done? So anybody required, please take a screenshot. And I will be uploading this video by end of today. As till yesterday, I have uploaded all the videos into Buttonbut Tutorials app. Today's session also will be available for future reference. If you face any network issues, anything, don't worry, you can watch the video again. Okay, so let's go into this basic proportionality theorem or Thales theorem. So let us read the statement as it is and let us understand the statement in detail. Okay, so if a line is drawn parallel, okay, I'll be highlighting the important points. If a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. Observe, students, if a line is drawn parallel, so if I observe DE, I have drawn DE parallel to BC. That means if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, that means, see, observe, my line DE is intersecting AB at D, this point, and it is intersecting AC at E. That means points D and E are distinct points. That is the meaning of distinct. That means they are individual separate points. Okay, that means side AB is intersected at point D, side AC is intersected at point E. So if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. That means what? D is dividing AB. So D, because of intersection at D, what parts am I getting? I am getting, yes. So because of intersection at D, I am getting parts AD and DB, correct? Because of this, what is happening? AB is divided into two parts, AD and DB. And similarly, AC is intersected at point E. Means because of this, what ratios I am getting? AE and EC. That means I am getting two parts, AE and EC. These two are formed on the side AC. So that means it says the other two sides. Which are the other two sides here? AB and AC are divided in the same ratio. That means I should find out the ratio. What ratio? I have to take AD by DB, AD by DB and AE by EC. Same ratio means they are equal to each other. That means AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by EC. So this is what basic proportionality. So basically in a simple proportion, the sides are getting divided. Is the statement clear to all of you? Is the statement clear to all of you? That means if I say, I'll just redraw everything. Okay. So if I take a triangle like this, so I'll do, this is the original triangle given to me, that is ABC. So what I do is I draw a line parallel to one side. So which side am I drawing parallel? I am drawing this line parallel to the base side, that is BC. When I do this, this line is meeting the triangle at two distinct points D and E, such that AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by EC. So this is what the basic proportionality theorem talks about. Is this clear to all of you? Yes, students? Is this clear to all of you? This theorem statement. Did you all understand the statement? Yes? If this is understood means I will go for proof. Let's prove this. Let us say whether Thales was correct or wrong. Okay? Fine. I will explain this once again with respect to proof. So please listen, students. I will repeat this. Please listen. This is extremely important. So tell me, what did the theorem said? So the theorem said, so the theorem said that if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. So I have taken the original diagram back. That means I have taken triangle ABC such that, and I have drawn DE. I have drawn side DE parallel to BC. So that is the first part of the statement. What is the first part of the statement? First part of the statement said, if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to meet a distinct point. So which are the distinct points here? D and E are my distinct points. D and E are my distinct points over here. Then the theorem says this line DE divides AB. That is AD divided by DB will be equal to this line divides AC as AE divided by EC. The ratio will be equal. So let us see, or let us see the proof now, how it is done. So what I am going to do is, let us join BE and CD. What is BE? So from B, from this point B, I will draw a line joining E. That means I have drawn this line. Okay, these are the constructions. This is a construction that I'm going to do for proof sake. Then draw DM perpendicular to AC. So where is DM? So I am taking from point D, I am drawing a perpendicular onto AC. So DM is perpendicular to AC. Then I have to draw EN perpendicular to AB. That means same part. From D I drew a perpendicular as DM. Similarly from E I will draw a perpendicular EN onto AB. Okay, so these constructions I am doing. Similarly, I have drawn DC also. I have not drawn, I can say I have joined points D and C. Okay, these are the constructions that I have to do for proving Thales theorem. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear till here? Yes? Anybody, any doubts? So, in order to prove, what should be my first step? My first step is I have to take simple empty triangle ABC. Then I have to draw DE parallel to BC. After drawing DE parallel to BC, I have to join B and E and D and C. Once I have done this, I have to go for drawing perpendiculars. What perpendiculars? I am drawing perpendicular from point D on line AC. So the perpendicular is nothing but DM. So DM is drawn perpendicular to AC. Similarly, from the second point, what is the second point? E is the second point. From E, I should draw a perpendicular on AB. That perpendicular is nothing but EN. So EN is drawn perpendicular to AB. So this much is my construction. This much is my construction. I hope this is clear to everyone till here. Yes. So this is our original triangle. So now what I will do is I will calculate the areas. So what areas? So I will consider triangle ADE. Observe students, I will highlight which part I am considering. I am considering triangle ADE. Okay, I am considering this small part. I will redraw it. I am considering this small part, triangle ADE. So what is the formula for area of a triangle? Area of triangle is nothing but base into height. So half into base into height. So when I consider triangle ADE, which is my base will become AD. AD will be my base. And for AD, which is the perpendicular, EN is the perpendicular. So that is nothing but my height. So that is why this statement comes into picture. That is, for area of triangle ADE is half into base into height, that is half into AD into EN. So that is area of AD is equal to half into AD into EN. Any doubts still here, students? Is there any doubt still here? Is it clear to all of you? How area of triangle formula is written? Is this clear to all of you? Yes, good. So similarly consider triangle BDE. So I will change the color and I will highlight that particular part. So let me show it with green color. Yes, triangle BDE. So where is triangle BDE? Observe this, BDE, this triangle. So for this triangle, how do I calculate? Yes, correct. Diksha. See, Diksha's doubt is that why not DM is the height? Wait, Diksha. So proof is not yet over. See, the next statement is nothing but that only. Okay, next statement will be considering that part itself. So area of BDE will be half into DB, because for this I have to extend the line and I have to draw the perpendicular, that is nothing but EN. So EN into BD. EN into BD is nothing but my EN into BD is nothing but my area of BDE. See, but as Diksha said, we can consider area of ADE. When I considered ADE, even DM can be perpendicular. If DM is the height, then which is the base? AE is the base. So then it will become AE into DM. Area of triangle ADE is half into AE into DM. Finally, we have to consider the triangle DEC. That is this triangle DEC, this part. So for triangle DEC, it will be half into EC. If EC is considered as base, then DM will be the perpendicular. I have to draw DM as perpendicular. I will get area of DEC as half into EC into DM. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone about the formula of area of triangle? Yes. Diksha, is that clear to you? Yes. How about Siddhant? Is it clear, Siddhant? Saumya, Sparsha. Is it clear, Sparsha? Srujana, Vibha. Is it clear to you, Vibha? Yes, Pooja, Shreya, Shashank Arthaita, Sanjana, Samartha. How about Samarth and Sachin? Yes, Sharat. How about you, Sharat? Pavitra, Niharika. Yes, Jeevan. ತುಂಬಾ ದಿವಸ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಜೀವನ್. Joel, how about Joel? Jagadishwaran and Joel. Grisha, Dipesh, Dhyan, Deep, Diksha, Chirantana. Yes, I want responses from everyone. Good. I want to make sure everyone is attentive. Bhargav, Anish, Abdul, Divya. Divya, are you listening to class or are you playing with the dog? Sanjana, Daksh, Shreya, yes. Vishal, how about Vishal? Vedant, yes. Understood. Good. Fine. So I will repeat previous 4 steps again. So just observe, students. For understanding sake, I'll just repeat the previous steps once again. Okay. So what did we do? First, we considered ADE, this triangle. So once we considered ADE, we took one height. So for triangle ADE, so we considered EN and AD. So we got this answer, half into AD into EN. Then we took triangle BDE, that is this part. We considered BDE. So for this, we got half into DB into EN. That is half into DB into EN, this part. Then ADE is considered again, that is this triangle itself is considered. Why this triangle itself is considered? Because DM can also be a perpendicular to the same triangle. So DM into AE. So we got that, AE into DM. So that is this statement. And finally, we are going to consider the last sub triangle DEC. For this triangle DEC, so for DEC, half into EC into DM becomes the perpendicular. DM becomes the perpendicular. Okay, fine. So now comes the most important part. So that is what we have to take the ratio. What ratio will I consider? I will consider area of ADE divided by area of BDE. So area of ADE is what? Half into AD into EN. So that means I am taking from here. Half into AD into EN whole divided by, what is area of BDE? Area of BDE is half into DB into EN. That means I am taking from here. So just now I am making the substitution, students. So observe, half cancels, EN cancels. So what is the ratio I am left with? AD divided by DB. AD divided by DB. So let us consider this as equation 1. Next, I will consider area of ADE divided by area of which other part of the triangle I have missed, that is DEC. So first I consider area of ADE by BDE. Next I will consider area of ADE divided by DEC. Area of ADE divided by DEC. So what will I get? Half into AE into DM. From here, this part, half into AE into DM whole divided by half into EC into DM. Now what happens? Half cancels, DM cancels. I am left with AE divided by EC. This is my equation 2. Yes. So how DM? It must be DC. See, DC is not a perpendicular, no, Diksha. How DC is a perpendicular? We have just joined points D and C. DC is not base or height. It is just a side. DM is the height. Why? Observe, this is a perpendicular. DM is perpendicular to side AC. Okay, fine. So till here, is it clear? Two steps. That is, first what did we do? We took area of ADE. We took area of ADE divided by area of BDE. Then again we took area of ADE divided by area of DEC. So we utilized that and found out two ratios. But one observation that we have to make, what observation we have to make? Triangle BDE and triangle DEC. Can you observe? Can you observe one peculiar thing here, students? What is a peculiar thing we observe? We observe that D is the common base for both the triangles. DE, yes, correct, Siddhant. DE is the common base. DE is the same base and between the same parallels. That means both the triangles BDE and DEC exist between same parallels. What are the same parallels? The same parallels here are side DE and BC. They are parallel to each other. So we have studied this. Between two parallel sides, if I draw with common base, if I draw two triangles like this, if I draw like this with common base, then what happens? The area of two triangles will be equal. Area of two triangles will be equal. Yes, correct, Siddhant. This is a previous concept. So because of which, what we can say, area of BDE is equal to area of DEC. We can conclude this. Correct, Niharika. Area of BDE will be equal to area of DEC. So then, if I consider this as my equation 3, now can you tell me what is the concluding statement here? Can you tell me what will be the concluding statement? So observe, area of BDE is equal to area of DEC. So this is what we are saying. Area of BDE is equal to area of DEC. We are saying this. That means what should happen from 1, 2, 3? What will we observe? See, area of ADE is common numerator. In the denominators, we are saying these two are same. If area of BD is equal to area of DEC, the denominators are also same, the numerators are also same, then which gives us the conclusion that equation 1 must be equal to equation 2. Am I right? Equation 1 must be equal to equation 2. So which gives us the conclusion. What conclusion can we draw from here? So therefore, what do I have to say? So therefore, AD by DB will be equal to AE by EC. AD by DB will be equal to AE by EC. So this is what we took up as to prove. This is what we wanted to prove. So based on the concept of areas, what areas, the triangles between the same parallels and common base, the area will be equal. The area between the common base, area between the common base and same parallels will be equal, and we have utilized the proportionality part here. Is this clear, students? Is this clear to all of you? Did you all understand the proof? So let me just run through the steps of the proofs. So what did we do? First we took the triangle, empty triangle. Then we drew a line parallel to base. That means DE is parallel to BC. That means D and E are our distinct points. Then we joined B and E, D and C points. So we got two triangles. What triangles? BDE and DEC. Now we have to draw perpendiculars, because perpendiculars will help us to find out area of triangles. So we drew DM perpendicular to AC and EN perpendicular to AB. Once we did this construction, we are going to utilize the formula, that is area of triangle is half into base into height, and these are the steps of the proof. So if you have not made a note of this, please make a note of all the steps. Okay. Yes, this, see, proving by statement is different, Siddhant, and this is proof by using actual proof using constructions and area of triangle concept. Okay, when we read the statement, we feel that statement is correct because we know it. Just imagine you being Thales. So just imagine how Thales, for the first time, he sat down and he tried to prove this. So he did all these aspects. He gave us the theorem, so we feel that it is already correct. And by statement, can't we say just that it is correct? We can say because it is already proved. But how did he prove for the first time? These are the steps that are utilized to confirm the theorem. Okay, please make a note of this, students. Yes, Diksha. See, don't worry from examination point of view as of now. Try to study everything and learn everything. Okay, exact point from exam point of view we will discuss later. Don't worry. So these are all important aspects. Fine. So now let us see the converse part of this. That is converse of theorem 6.1. Converse means what? Ulta, the reverse. So what does it say? The statement says if a line divides any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, then the line is parallel to the third side. So if you observe in the previous statement, first we assumed that DE is parallel to BC. This is an assumption we made, and we concluded that AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. But in this converse theorem, we are going to say that any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, that means we are saying that AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. If this is the case, then the line is parallel to BC. The line is parallel to BC. So what is given for this question? What is given? It is given that AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by EC. This is given. What do I have to prove? To prove DE is parallel to BC, I have to prove this. This is the converse theorem of 6.1. That is converse of Thales theorem. So in Thales theorem, what is given? In Thales theorem, DE is parallel to BC is given to us. What do you have to prove? You have to prove that AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. But in converse theorem, given is this part, to prove is this. So this I am giving you as assignment. I want all of you to go through the proof of this converse, which is very easy and very few steps are there. Okay, I would like you guys to make an independent study of this proof. So proof of this theorem is given as assignment to you. Make independent study. Any doubts you can ask me. You can ask me on chat section of Buttonbud Tutorials Hub, or you can post in the WhatsApp group also. Okay, no need to upload in the app as such because proof is already available, but I want you to make independent study of this proof. That is proof of converse of theorem 6.1. Okay, please make a note of this, students. You have to prove converse theorem Siddhant. This converse you have to prove. You have to write the statement. See how for 6.1 I wrote statements, area of ADC, area of DR, that I wrote equation 1, equation 2, but then I wrote a statement that triangles between same base and parallels will have same area, because of which I concluded that AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. So I gave this step-by-step proof. I want you to study step-by-step proof of theorem 6.2 and practice. Is that clear? Yes, students, have you made a note of this? Good. So let us solve one numerical problem then. If a line intersects sides AB and AC of a triangle ABC at D and E respectively and is parallel to BC, prove that AD by AB is equal to AE by AC. So this is little modified. This is not very difficult. This is little modified. So what do we have to prove here? So we are knowing that this line is parallel to DE. So we know that DE is parallel to BC. So for this proof, what do I have to write? So what is given to us? Given that DE is parallel to BC. See, if a line intersects AB and AC at D and E and is parallel to BC, this is what is given to us. So DE is parallel to BC, and I have to prove. So what is to prove? To prove AD divided by AB. AD divided by AB, this entire side, is equal to AE divided by AC. That is AE divided by this entire part AC. So this is what I have to prove. So we already know. What do we know? We know that AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by EC. Am I right? What is a statement? Because of or from Thales theorem. We have already studied that. Or we can say basic proportionality theorem. From BPT, AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by EC. Or if I write this in reverse, what will happen? I'll get DB divided by AD is equal to EC divided by AE. Correct? I have just reciprocate. I have taken the reciprocals of both sides. Then what I will do is I will say add 1 on both sides. This small modification I will do. Add 1 on both sides. If I do this, what will I get? DB divided by AD plus 1 is equal to EC divided by AE is equal plus 1. Now you can ask me a question that, sir, how will I get to know to add number 1 on both sides? Well, how will I get to know? So students, for proving kind of questions, you will be able to do this based on the experience only. That means more and more questions you have to solve, or same type of questions you should repeatedly solve it, so that as soon as you observe a question you will be able to understand these modifications. So for the first time these modifications will not come to you directly. Okay, it requires sufficient amount of practice. So after having number of practices you will be able to make these modifications very easily. Once I do this, I have to take LCM. So if I take LCM, what will I get? dB plus AD divided by AD is equal to EC plus AE divided by AE. What is dB plus AD? What is dB plus AD? It is nothing but AB, the entire part. I'll repeat again. dB plus AD is nothing but AB, this full side. So denominator I'll keep as it is. Similarly, EC. So where is EC? EC is here. EC plus AE is nothing but our AC, this entire part. So AC by AE. Again, take reciprocal of this, or I can say AD divided by AB is equal to AE divided by AC. Hence proved. Hence proved. Any doubts here, students? Yes, correct, Vibha. Good. Any doubts? Is this understood? Yes, please make note of this. Please make note of this. So why did I reciprocate this? For easy calculation only. There is no other logic, Siddhant. For easy and better calculation and understanding, we did the reciprocation. Without taking reciprocal also, you can do it. No issues. No problem. Exactly. Why do we need to take plus 1? For this is for modification. This is called as mathematical modification in proofs. Okay. Why did I take plus 1 only? So that you will be able to catch better with practice, Grisha. Okay. So this is modification that I am doing based on my experience and observation. So basically what I wanted to do is, or what I wanted to get is, I wanted to get this part. That is, I wanted to get dB plus AD part. I wanted this dB plus AD. So how do I get dB plus AD? If I take this AD to numerator as an addition to this dB, how do I get this as addition? If I add plus 1, but I cannot just add plus 1 on one side. So what I have to do, I have to add plus 1 on both the sides, so that I'll get dB plus AD. That means I'll get this dB plus AD with same modification on the right hand side. EC plus AE I will be getting. So EC plus AE. So this will help me to add the two proportional parts, that is AD/dB and AE/EC. Is that clear? And Siddhant, did you understand why we took reciprocation? Why reciprocal is taken? Without reciprocal, this modification will not that be possible. Yes, if you don't reciprocate, it won't work, Siddhant. It won't work for AD by DB. AD by AB is equal to AE by EC. See, students, I will show you without reciprocation. If you have not understood, I will show you without taking reciprocation. That is from this step itself. That is AD divided by DB plus 1 is equal to AE divided by EC plus 1. Yes, you have to experiment, Siddhant. So that's what I said. As you practice more and more questions, you will be able to catch this better. So if I do it here, what will I get? AD plus DB divided by DB is equal to AE plus EC divided by EC. What is AD plus DB? AD plus DB is AB divided by DB is equal to, what is AE plus EC? AE plus EC is AC divided by EC. So numerators, see I want AB AC, I got AB AC, but here it is DB and EC, but we are not requiring DB and EC, we want AD and EE. That is why we have to take reciprocation. Sir, then how will we know when to reciprocate? Exactly, that is what I'm trying to tell you here. You have to practice more and more. Okay, since I have given you this proof, you are able to understand. But on your own, how will you get? You have to solve more questions so that further when you encounter new type of question, you will be understand or you will be able to understand what modification is required. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you? Good. Okay, fine. So with this numerical problem, I will be closing today's session. Any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, I will be uploading the video today itself. Okay. Okay, students, fine. Thank you for attending today's class. Good night. Attend next class.